In this April Nutri-Bite, we're spotlighting the springtime super green kale. Kale is one of my favorite vegetables and it's also super nutritious. It would take me way longer than 2 to 3 minutes in a Nutri-Bite to talk about all the health benefits of kale, but it's been shown to protect our hearts, protect us from about 5 different types of cancer and other diseases associated with inflammation. So if you're introducing kale to your family for the first time, I have a delicious recipe called kale chips that they are going to love. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take our kale and we're going to either tear it or we can use our scissors and cut it up into bite-sized pieces like so. What we're not going to include in our kale chips is this stem. So we're going to leave the stem out and just use mostly the leaves. Next thing we're going to do is take our leaves and wash them, and I'm just doing this in a salad spinner for ease. So after I've washed my kale, gotten all the water off of them, the next thing I'm going to do is coat them with 3 ingredients. We've got about a tablespoon of olive oil we're going to add, about half a teaspoon of salt, and a sprinkle of garlic powder, and you can leave that out if your family doesn't like garlic. So I'm going to add those ingredients, and what your kale is going to look like is nicely coated, shiny kale. So after I have tossed my ingredients, I'm now going to place my kale on a baking sheet in a single layer. You don't have to use aluminum foil, but you can if you want to just make it easier for cleanup. So once I've got that kale placed in a single layer on my baking sheet, and you're probably going to need more than 1 baking sheet, we're going to bake this kale at 300 to 325 degrees for about 15 minutes. So once our kale has had a chance to bake, this is what our chips end up looking like. So they're nice and crispy. Cameraman, do you want to try and take a bite of our kale chips? I bet just like Pringles, you're not going to be able to stop at just one. It's quite delicious, aren't they? So I would advise you to probably buy more than 1 bunch of kale because this kale is so delicious, these chips are going to go fast.